Hello my dear students, welcome to Mathswell YouTube channel, a virtual platform for mathematics. So today we are going to continue our topic that is known as the algebraic expressions and identities. So today we are going to discuss the next part of the topic known as the factorization of the algebraic expressions. Okay, so in this part we'll see how to factorize the algebraic expressions. So to get the factorization of algebraic expressions, factors of algebraic expressions, we'll see step by step. The first one we are going to see what is the method. So that we will have different methods. No, the first one method is called the method of common factorization, right? The first one method is called the method of common factorization. So what is the common factorization? We'll see. What is the common factorization, students? So in the case when you are given algebraic expressions like binomial, trinomial and so on, so in that case what are the common factors? Suppose you are given a factor as 2x plus 4, suppose, right? So in this case we have two terms, one is 2x and another one is 4, so it is a binomial. So what we do in general in while factorizing any terms, so here we have two terms and their factors are 2 and x, right? So I can write the factor of the first term as 2 into x plus the second factor is a constant term 4. So I write its prime factors. So what are the factors of 4? They are 2 into 2, right? So student, if you see here, these are the two factors from the first term and the two factors for the second term. So what we observe, is there any term common there? Is any common factor among these two? Yes, obviously we can say that 2 is a common factor from both, right? So in this way, so whatever the common factor is there, so I should take it common, means we need to take it outside the bracket and we write the remaining terms inside the bracket, right? So what we left from the first term, we left it only x, whereas the second term, the term in the second factor in the second term we left is with 2 only, right? So in this way I can say that the common factor is 2 here, right? So factors of this 2x plus 4 is given by 2 times x plus 2, is it? So in this way we have the common factor. So this is known as a common factorization or method of common factors for the given polynomials, right students? So this is the first method. Now we'll discuss the second method. We'll see the example after discussing these methods. Okay, so now we'll discuss the second method known as factorization of regrouping the terms, right? The second one is called factorization by regrouping the terms, or it is also known as regrouping method, regrouping the terms. Okay, so this is the second method of factorizing the algebraic expressions, right? So let us see what it is. So in this case, students, we are given some polynomials. Okay, suppose you are given the factor in the form of a binomial having such terms 2xy plus 2y, right? So this is the given algebraic expressions. So what we do in this case, we can take some more terms from this 2xy plus 2y plus 3x plus 3. We have some more terms, so plus 3x plus 3, right? So in this case what we do, see the first two terms and last two terms, we regroup the terms. So the terms are grouped. So how they can be grouped, you can see that 2xy plus 2y and 3x plus 3, we have totally 4 terms are there, and if you observe the terms here, the first term is 2x, second term is 2y. So just observing it, we can come to know that something is common among them. Okay, so that we can group them together. Whereas in the last two terms, 3x plus 3, again we come to know that something is common between them, but nothing is common in all the four terms, right? So in this case, it is not possible to use the method of factorization, common factorization. So the first method is not applicable to this, right? So in this case, what we do, we regroup the terms. We regroup in such a way that there should be something common among those two terms. Two or more than two terms. It could be more than two terms also, right? So here we have totally four terms, and if you observe that two terms are having some common among them. So students, so first from the first two terms, what we have common among them? If you see, 2 is common, and then y is also common among them. So I can take 2y common from it. So what we left inside the bracket? So if you take 2 and y common from the first term, as it contains three factors, 2, x and y, we have taken 2 and y common. So what is left? We left with x. So we left with x here. Plus, what we have here? So in the second term, the whole term 2xy is taken as common. So nothing is left. So nothing left means 1 will be there. Okay. So we left with 1 as a second term in the bracket, right? So we can write 2y inside bracket x plus 1. Okay. So let's wait for a minute. So we have 2y x plus 1, right? Again, in the last two terms, what we have common? 3 is common. Obviously 3 is common. You can just see that 3 is common among them, and no any other variable is common. So taking 3 common from the last two terms, what we left here? We left from the first term, as it contains the two factors 3 and x. 3 is taken common, so we left with only x here, right? So the first term will be x plus, what is the second term? Second term is x, and we have taken it completely common, that is full last term is taken common. So what we left there? We left with 1. As here we are saying, if complete term is taken common, the 1 will be there, right? So here I can say, from the first term I left with 1, from the second term I left with 1 here, right? So again what we have here? 2y times x plus 1, and here 3 times x plus 1. So I can say that again x plus 1 is a common factor here. So now I can take x plus 1 as one of the common factor. It is taken in one bracket, and the remaining terms can be written in another bracket. And what are the remaining terms? They are 2y and 3, and that can be written as 2y plus 3, which is the second term in second bracket. So I can write here it as 2y plus 3. So in this way, student, I can say that the factors of the given algebraic expression 2xy plus 2y plus 3x plus 3, and though this algebraic expression can be factorized by regrouping the terms. It is not possible to apply the first method of common factorization, but here it is convenient to make the groups of having some common terms, common factors, and then taken common again from those two, so that we can have the factors for the given algebraic expression, right students? So this is the method number 2. Clear students? So in this way we can factorize the given algebraic expression, students, right? So after that we have one more method. What is that method? Is known as the method, name of the method is called as the factorization using identity. Okay, so the factorization using identity, let's see. The third method is called factorization using identity. So what are the identity we have seen up to now? Can anyone remind? So using the identity. Identity means what? The algebraic identities we have seen up to now in this same topic, right? How many identities we have seen? We have seen the identity of a plus b the whole square. What is a plus b the whole square? a plus b the whole square is equal to a square plus 2ab plus b square. The second identity we have seen is a minus b the whole square. What is the identity here? It is equal to a square minus 2ab plus b square. And the third identity we have is a plus b, a minus b, or you can say a square minus b square is equal to a plus b into a minus b. So these are the three identities we have seen in this topic. So we are going to factorize the given algebraic expressions using these three identities. Okay students, so let's see the example. As if you are given a algebraic expression like this, suppose the algebraic expression is given as x square plus 8x plus 16, right? X square plus 8x plus 16. So how to factorize this? If you observe this, can you put it in any one of the identity here? X square plus 8x plus 16. So just see the right side, students. So what are the right sides here? In which of these three forms this given algebraic expression can be compared? If you see the first identity, a plus b the whole square will be a square plus 2ab plus b square. Here in this identity all the three terms are positive. Is that clear? So we have we can put this algebraic expression in the first form, right? So let us try it. Let us try to write them in these three terms in the identity of a plus b the whole square. So first try to write it in that form. So first term should be a square term, so it is the square of x obviously, and the last term will be the square of some number. So here 16 is the square of which number? Obviously it is 4 square. So now can I write? So here I can say that if a is taken as x, b is taken as 4. So what will be 2ab in this case? Can I write it as 2 into a into b means 2 into x into 4. So is it 2ab? Yes, obviously I can say it is x square plus 2x into 4 plus 4 square is in the form of a square plus 2ab plus b square. So can I write it as a plus b the whole square, where a is x and b is 4. So can I write it like this? Yes, I can write it as x plus 4 the whole square. So in this way I can say that x square plus 8x plus 16 is equal to x plus 4 the whole square. Understood students? Either you can write x plus 4 the whole square, or we can write the same factor 2 times, that is x plus 4 into x plus 4. So these are the factors for the given algebraic expression. Understood student? Yes, this is the first type. Second type, suppose the example given is 4y square minus 12y plus 9. 4y square minus 12y plus 9. Now student, just observe the given expression. So here if we see the 4y square, first term is positive, second term is negative, third term is positive again. If we see any one of these identity, all of these three identities, only in the second identity we have the second term as negative, that is the term of 2ab. If you see the square terms are always positive, so we can consider the first and last terms as the squares, and they can be a square and b square, right? And the middle term, depending on the middle term we can decide that which identity can be applicable. So since here middle term is negative, most probably we can use the second identity, that a minus b the whole square, which is equal to a square minus 2ab plus b square. So let's try to write the first and last terms as the squares in the form of square, perfect square. So here the first term is 4y square. So is 4 a perfect square? It is the square of which number? It is the square of 2 obviously, and y square is already a square of y. So I can write the first term as 2y square, right? And I write the square of the last term also. Last term is also in square form. So is 9 a square of some number, or is it a perfect square? Yes, obviously it is a square of 3. So I can write this last term as 3 square, right? So first term is 2y the whole square, last term is 3 square. So I can say that a square is 2y square and b square is 3 square, means a equal to 2y and b equal to 3. So can I write this 12y, can I write this 12y as 2 into 2y into 3? So what is the product of this 2 into 2y into 3? Is it 12y? 2 into 2, 4. 4 is are 12, so it is equal to obviously 12y. So I can write, since middle term is negative, I write minus 2ab. B is 3 here. So obviously it is again in the form of a minus b the whole square expansion, the identity, second identity. So can I write, if I compare this with this second identity, we come to know that a is 2y and b is 3 square. So I can write this as a minus b the whole square, where a is 2y and b is 3. So I can write it as 2y minus 3 the whole square. So which identity we have applied here, students? We have applied a minus b the whole square, the identity given by a square minus 2ab plus b square. In the first example, we have applied the identity a plus b the whole square identity, which is given by a square plus 2ab plus b square. So it depends purely on the middle term. If the middle term is positive, we say that it can be put in the first identity, that is a plus b the whole square. And if the middle term is negative, we can say, or we can try the second identity, which is a minus b the whole square with middle term as negative. So in this way I can write this as, either you can write 2y minus 3 the whole square, or we can write the same factor 2 times, that is 2y minus 3 into 2y minus 3, right? So I can write it in this way also, taken 2y minus 3 2 times. So is it easy, students? Yes, obviously it will be easy once you know the identities. So these are the three very important identities which will help you to factorize the given algebraic expression, right? So we will try one more example of this, that is using the third identity. We have the third identity is nothing but a square minus b square, which is equal to a plus b and a minus b, right? So let us see the example. Let's consider the example as 49p square minus 36. So let us consider this example, third example on the third identity. Say it is 49p square minus 36. So students, you can just come to know, can you apply the third identities? See, in the first example we have seen the middle term, the factorization, or we can say the given algebraic expression has 3 terms, so obviously we can apply any one of the 2 identities we have seen. If the expression contains 3 terms, we say that we can apply the any one of these 3 identities, or first 2 identities only. Again, in that only also we can decide whichever can be applicable, whether the first or second identity can be applicable. If the middle term is positive, we say that the first identity can be applicable. If middle term is negative, we can say that the second identity can be applicable. And when the third identity can be applicable, it is in the case when we have a square term and a constant term only. That is, if the middle term or the term of x, the variable in linear form, the middle term contains only x or only ab. So no, there is no square term, right? So in that case, we can apply the third identity, that a square minus b square, right? So to apply that identity, we must write both of those 2 terms in square form. So can you put these 2 terms in square form? So 49p square, so we know the 49 is the square of 7, p square is already square of p, and 36 is also a perfect square number of, it is a square of 6. So I can write this 49p square as 7p the whole square minus the second term is square of 6. So 7p square minus 6 square, which is in the form of a square minus b square, and we can apply the identity for such type of expression as a plus b into a minus b. Right, students? Yes. So here, if we compare this a square minus b square with this, we come to know that the value of here we can say a will be equal to 7p and b will be equal to 6 here. So applying this identity, I can put it in the form of a square minus b square, and I can use the identity as a plus b, a minus b. So using that identity, I can write a plus b means 7p plus 6 and a minus b means 7p minus 6. So we can say that these are the two required factors for the given polynomial, given algebraic expression, we can say. So this 49p square minus 36 can be written as 7p the whole square. I can write 7p plus 6 in the first bracket, that is first factor, and second factor is 7p minus 6. So these are the two factors for the given algebraic expression. So in this way, student, we can apply the identities, the three identities we can apply to get the factors of the given algebraic expression. So hope everyone understood this. After that, student, we have one more method of factorization, that is called the factors of the form x plus a, x plus b. So how to get the factors of such type? So it is also one of the important factorization of the given algebraic expression. I can say factors of the form x plus a into x plus b, x plus a into x plus b. So how to get the factors in this form for the given algebraic expression? So student, we have seen the first two identities. They are in the form of a minus b the whole square or a plus b the whole square, and is equal to a square minus 2ab plus b square. So to apply the first two identities, student, we have seen that the given expression must have three terms. If the middle term is positive, we say that the first identity can be applicable. If the second term is negative, middle term is negative, we say that the second identity is applicable. So it can be factorized, we have seen. But in the case even we are given three terms, either you are given the middle terms are the middle terms are either positive or negative, but in some cases it is that identity is not applicable. Those two identities are not applicable. So in such case, what we do? In such case, we need to split the middle term and then try to factorize. So how it can be factorized? We will see the example. Suppose the factors are given. So here, student, x plus a into x plus b, x plus a into x plus b, it can be have the term or we can say the product of such factors would be in the form of x square plus a plus b times x plus ab. This is in this form, right? So x square plus a plus b times x plus ab. So let us consider one example. Suppose the expression given is in the form x square. Consider one example, x square plus 5x plus 6. Okay, so this is the given algebraic expression and you are asked to find its factors. So how to factorize such a given expression? So student will try to find try to compare the given expression with this, which is x square plus a plus b times x plus ab. So here the middle term is negative, so obviously it is in the form of x square plus a plus b times x plus ab. Okay, so now comparing this given expression with this, can you get the value of a plus b and a into b? Yes, obviously we can have the values of a into b and a plus b. So in this expression, the constant term can be taken as a into b. Here I can say a into b is 6 and a plus b is equal to 5. So what will be a plus b? A plus b is 5 and a into b equal to 6. So I can write a plus b equal to 5 and a into b equal to 6. So student, we need to find the values of a and b such that the or we can say we need to find those two numbers whose product equal to 6 and the sum equal to 5. So we can say we need to factorize the constant term 6 so that their sum should equal to 5. So we can write the all possible factors of 6. We can say 6 1s are 6, then 2 3s are 6, then 3 2s are 6. So 3 2s are and 2 3s are both are same, as we have seen the commutative property of the numbers or the rational numbers we have seen. So the same is applicable to the real numbers also. So here 2 into 3 and 6 into 1, these are the two factors, students. So whichever is can be used in this example to split the middle term as a plus b. The 5 can be splitted. So satisfying these two conditions, that the product is 6 and sum equal to 5, can you check the sum of the pairs of these factors? 6 plus 1, is it 5? It is not 5, so I can't take this. And what is the sum of 2 and 3? It is equal to 5, so I can take this. And then you can say that here a equal to, so I can take a 2 plus 3 equal to 5 and 2 into 3 is 6 here. So means this 2 and 3, this pair of factors satisfy the given condition, so that I can write the factors for the given expression as. So can I write here, can I say a equal to 2 and b equal to 3? So can I say this? Yes, if we have the values of a and b, I write the factors for the given expression as x plus a into x plus b. So I can write x square plus 5x plus 6 is equal to x plus a, that is x plus 2, and x plus b, which is 3 here, so x plus 3. So in this way I can have the factor of such algebraic expression to which the identities cannot be applicable. Right, students? So in this way we can have such type of example. Now in the case, here in the first example we have seen that all the terms were positive. In the case if the all terms are, so any one of the term is negative, then in that case what should I do? So let us consider such type of example. Okay, so let us consider the example here. Okay, so consider one more example having some different signs. Let us see the second example for such type of factorization. Let it be x square minus 7x plus 12. So what will be in this case? How to factorize such example? How to factorize such algebraic expressions? So student, here again we compare it with x square plus a plus b times x and ab as a plus ab. We write it in the form of x square plus a plus b times x plus b a into b. So student, first get the value of ab from it. What will be the value of AB? Means product of two numbers is equal to 12, and here instead of this plus sign I can take minus sign here. So if I take it as minus sign, so we can say that the sum of these two numbers should be equal to 7. So here the middle term coefficient is 7, right? So I can say that the product of two numbers should be equal to 12 and the sum of two numbers equal to 7. So again, as we have factorized in the last sum, the same way we can factorize this 12 such that the sum of the factors should be equal to 7. So what are the possible factors of 12? The possible factors of 12 are, first factor is 12 into 1, After that we can have the factor as 6 into 2 and then the factor as 3 into 4. So these are the three possible factors of 12. So now one by one we'll check the sum of which pair is equal to 7. Is 12 plus 7, 12 plus 1 7? No, it is not 7. Is 6 plus 2 7? No, it is also not equal to 7. Is the sum of 3 and 4 7? Yes, I can say the sum of 3 and 4 is 7. Clear? So now student, it is easy to get the factors for the given expression. So can you say or can you find the values of a and b here? Yes, what are the values of a and b? The values of a and b, we can say that a equal to 3 and b equal to 4. So that the product of a and b is 12 and the sum of a and b is 4 and sum of a and b is 7. And since this middle term is negative, the middle term sign should be given to both. So I can consider this minus 3 and minus 4. I give my middle term sign to the both because the middle term is negative here. So student, I can write the factors of this such type of expression as x minus a and x minus b, right? So using this I can write the factors of the given expression as 7x square minus 7x plus 12 is equal to x minus 3 and x minus 4. So it's very important concept, students, right? So in this way we can have the factors of such algebraic expression which cannot be factorized using the known two identities of a plus b and a minus b the whole squares. Okay, so now we have one more case. The third case, we can say if the second as well as the third term are negative. If you see the first example, all the terms were positive. In the second example, the middle term is negative, and in third case now we'll discuss the example in which the both the that is second and third term both are having negative sign. So let us consider the example as x square minus 4x minus 12. So see here the value the sign for a, and that is the second term and the third term both are equal to negative, that is both are having negative sign. So in such case what we do, student, in this case again get the value of ab, compare it with x square plus a plus b times x plus ab. So here if you compare it with x square plus a plus b times x plus ab, what are the values of ab? First we will find the value of ab. What is the value of ab? ab is equal to minus 12 here. Means the product of two numbers should be minus 12, and their difference we can say, since the product is negative, obviously the two numbers will have opposite sign. So I can say a minus b should be equal to minus 4, or we can say the difference is equal to 4 also. Okay, so in such case again try to factorize this 12, write down all possible factors of 12. Just we have seen in the last example, the factors of 12 are this, that is 12 into 1, 6 into 2 and 3 into 4. So now as in the previous example we have chosen that pair whose sum was equal to 7, but in this case we are going to choose that pair whose difference is equal to 4, right? Whose difference is equal to 4. So that we need to check, right? So which pair is having the difference equal to 4, student? 12 minus 1 is not equal to 4. 3 minus 4 is not equal to 4. What is the difference of 6 and 2? 6 and 2 has a difference equal to 4. So you can choose this one, that is 6 into 2, right? So difference of 6 and 2 is this. So now, student, the product of two numbers is 12. Obviously the product should be equal to minus 12 only in the case if either of them is negative, that is one is positive, one is negative. Now here the very important concept is here how to decide which sign should be given to which number, because we are going to give opposite sign to these two numbers. So we should given carefully. This sign should be given very carefully. Now student, listen it very carefully. Now I am going to give the sign of middle term to the greater of these two, 6 and 2. Which one is greater? Middle, which term, which of these two factors is greater, either 6 or 2? So obviously 6 is greater. So I am going to give the middle term sign. What is the middle term sign in the given expression here? The middle term sign is minus, that is -4. So that the middle term sign should be given to the greater one, means 6 will become minus. Obviously the opposite sign will be given to the smaller number. So this concept is, student, very important, because most of the students in the higher standards will don't know this concept, or if even they have taught, they forgot it, means though they will take it very lightly. So student, I just alert you that such type of examples are very important, or such concept is very important. It's very simple concept. If you just listen and understand it very carefully, it will never forgotten, right? So here I repeat once again, whenever the second and the third term are negative, whatever the factors we have chosen, the middle term sign should be given to the greater one, and the opposite sign should be given to the smaller number. So now student, after deciding the sign, the remaining part is very easy. So here I can factorize this. So what are the factors of such numbers? I can write the factor of the given or such algebraic expressions as, since this middle term a plus b is negative and the product is also negative, I can write this one as here student, I can write, since if I take it as minus, so obviously you can say AB is 12 and A minus B is 4. So means difference should be equal to 4, product should be equal to 12, and depending on the middle term sign, we should give the sign to the greater number. So the factors of such algebraic expressions will be equal to x minus a and x plus b, where we can say a is greater than b. So I can write the factor as x minus a into x plus b in the case if a is greater than b. In this case, this a should be greater than b. In some cases, or you can say if b is greater than a, we can write it as x minus b and x plus a, like that. So student, can you tell me what are the factors for such given algebraic expression? X square minus 4x minus 12 can be factorized as, here we have 6 is, so what are the values of a and b from this? Can you decide? Yes, I can say a is equal to 6 and b equal to 2, right, where a is greater than b, that is 6 is greater than 2. So I can put the value of a and b as x minus a means x minus 6 and then x plus 2. So in this way I have the factors for such algebraic expressions. So student, I think this much methods of factorizing the given algebraic expressions are very complicated, but they can be easy once you understood the method of factorizing such algebraic expressions to which we can't apply the identities we have seen up to now. So student, it's kind instructions to all that these concepts are very important. These are the basic concepts, so you should go through these very seriously. They are very useful in the further studies also. So with this note, today we will stop here only. Take care. See you all in the next video. Thank you.